City staff have outlined a series of measures to help the city deal with its budget deficit, but it could mean that living in Toronto will become more expensive. The report recommends several new measures, including a new municipal sales tax, higher taxes for properties, land transfers, and vacant homes, as well as a commercial parking levy. The city says it's facing a $1.5 billion hole for the 2024 operating budget and an estimated $46.5 billion budget deficit over the next decade.
So joining us live this morning with her thoughts on the proposals is Jennifer Keesmaat, former Chief City Planner with the City of Toronto. Jennifer, good to talk to you again this morning. Appreciate the time. These numbers are pretty staggering, not necessarily shocking if you're paying close attention. We heard a lot from city officials yesterday, Budget Chief Shelley Carroll and new Mayor Olivia Chow, about this municipal sales or potential sales tax, that 1%. They really seem to be pushing that. How crucial is that going to be for Toronto's finances?
Well, this is an interesting strategy because what you're seeing here are a variety of different ways to start filling the gap, because you have the vacant home tax going up, you have the commercial parking level, the municipal city building levy is going to continue at 1.5%, and then also an indication that we're going to see property taxes increase in keeping with other GTA municipalities, which could mean a lot of things because, of course, Toronto's taxes are significantly lower. So what you see here is a strategy, quite frankly, of cobbling together the monies that are needed through a variety of different sources and initiatives. Spreading the pain out a little bit might be one way to describe this.
And Jennifer, when we had Shelley Carroll on the show yesterday, the city's budget chief, she said that this was about sustainability and focusing on some kind of long-term goals, changing kind of the revenue structure for the city. And she said that we can model it after other cities. Are there other cities in mind, such as New York, that you think Toronto can take an example from and make it work long-term?
Well, the funny thing is, historically in the Canadian context, we've really relied on municipal property taxes as our primary source of funding for municipalities. That's an old model. It doesn't really work when you're building subways, when you're building LRTs, when you have large infrastructure projects, and also when we see social needs, quite frankly. Our investment in social services really needs to be stepped up in a significant way. The long-term care homes are something that are on the table right now, where there's a funding gap. And Mayor Olivia Chow has talked to the feds about trying to get some money for those long-term care homes. If we look south of the border, we see a very different model, and we're moving towards that model. You often see referendums for tax levies on very specific issues in American cities. This happens all the time with respect to transit projects, with respect to affordable housing funds. We're kind of moving more to a nuanced model that looks at a variety of different mechanisms in order to fund the needs of the municipality. That's a good thing. We've been talking about it for decades, and it looks like we're finally starting to get there.
It's fascinating because the city officials also, though, saying, Jennifer, that you can't sort of property tax your way out of this problem, that just simply won't make up the difference here. The other part of this, of course, Jennifer, is the politics of this. It's not necessarily popular to bring in new revenue tools, which means people are going to have to dig deeper into their pockets. So this obviously is going to go to executive first, then go to the full council. Do you think the people have the stomachs to potentially bring in these kind of measures for the long-term benefit of the city?
Well, you really nailed it. This is a question of having the political guts to actually do the things that we know we need to do, that we know we have needed to do for about 20 years now. That's the truth of it. This actually, ironically, started under revisions to the City of Toronto Act that brought in new taxing tools back when David Miller was mayor and Shelley Carroll was a budget chief. So here we are again. We didn't have the guts to do it. We need to do it. We've got a massive gap. But not only do we have a massive gap, I think that when you hit a crisis point, people are often more willing to act. And look, everyone can see the level of decay in the city right now. Like, that's no secret. You get it every time you go over a pothole on the street, or, when you're waiting for the subway, which you've never had to wait for before in your life because service levels have been so reliable, and now they're not. So look, it takes political guts, but also maybe this is the moment where the stars are aligning to make it happen. You've got an experienced budget chief. You've got a new mayor who, really wants to be very aggressive on this and was very clear that she would be aggressive on it. And then you've got residents in the city who are pretty fed up. So, maybe now is the time finally do the thing that we've been pushing off for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, Jennifer Keesmaat, former city chief planner with the City of Toronto. Appreciate the time. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Jennifer.
You too.